I am a man of honor, integrity, and promise. I pursue all righteousness. I love my family. I will not put my family in harm's way. There is nothing that will keep me from doing the right thing. I am an ambassador of hope and a man of discipline. I am a man worth following. I am a TYRO.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders and co-executive directors of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Or a founding father or a person worth following. And see, Ron and I developed the TYRO curriculum out of our own personal experience through welfare, incarceration, and just kind of crazy cycles.
Lamism,
that's a good word.
Yep. And so today we want to talk about the joys of fatherhood.
See, you're right. So on TYRO TV, what we aim to do is to give you practical tips and tools that can help you right now where you are, create a legacy for your family, to begin to build that foundation and build upon that foundation so that you can experience your dreams and overcome every challenge in your life.
You know, and I really want to emphasize that we can't do this alone, dads. We can't raise a family without the support and know-how of other people who've already done it. You know, it's when we try to do things without any mentorship or not reading a book. You know, there's probably not a real good handbook. I don't think anybody's ever done it. This is how to be a good parent. Right? It's not out there, but there's so much experience and so much expertise that is out there that we as men should really try to humble ourselves, really, and listen and learn and glean so we don't fall in the same pitfalls as our predecessors.
So what we're doing, and we're really excited about doing, is interviewing our local expert fathers. And that means dads we know that are making a difference in their kids' lives, making a difference in other people's lives, and impacting our own lives, and inspiring us to become better parents. And so we wanted to share their expertise with you so that you could learn and grow as much as we do.
And what's really exciting is the I don't know how to say it, the pendulum, I guess, from this father to that father, the difference of who they are and where they come from, and the expertise that they bring, I think is a great plethora of wisdom and knowledge that this plate that is going to be given to you, that there's such a great, what's that thing when you go into a restaurant and there's a...
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, there's a smorgasbord of wisdom. Yeah. Smorgasbord.
I love smorgasbords.
Right?
I love buffets because I love food. I'm a total
And this
foodie.
is like a buffet of wisdom. A buffet is smorgasbord of wisdom, right?
So today, our very special guest, he's a father of 7.
Woo!
He's a father of 7. And not only is he a father of 7, so he balances being a dad and an incredible dad, a great husband, also a very passionate pursuer of whatever his dreams are. And so everything you see him do it with excellence. And so we want to share with you Mr. Tim Snoke. When we come back, you will get to meet Tim and hear more about him, the things he's accomplishing, and how you can learn from him.
So don't change the channel because we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we have a dear friend, dear colleague, dear associate, and a powerful dad with us today named Tim Snoke in the house, everybody.
Welcome,
You can
Tim.
give me a real high five, sir. There you go.
Great to have you. We're super excited
Good to be here.
Lots from you today. As we get started, really what I'd like to do first is let's start with what you do professionally. Tell us a little bit about your background and what you do, what you've done, and what you're doing now.
Okay, well, right now I'm the director of TYRO Support Services. So TYRO Support Services serves those people who are involved in TYRO in one way or the other. So really a couple of ways. We could be serving people who have completed the TYRO program and are a part of that TYRO alumni community or are looking for additional training. And then probably more directly, or the way that most people experience us right now, is as those folks who are delivering TYRO. So the TYRO champions out there, our partner organizations throughout the United States, and of course right here in Ohio.
Wow.
Nice.
We went also international, correct?
And international, that's right. So we
Right.
kind
Wow.
of broke into new territory. So we're down in New Zealand, as you all know, and also in Australia.
Isn't
so
that exciting?
Lots of interest on the continent too. So
Yeah.
we have some interest in Europe, and so we're very excited about the way that TYRO as a movement is kind of growing throughout the United States and throughout the world.
So the department you had, their job is to be that fulfillment company to make sure that everybody has what they need to get the job done.
Absolutely. Fulfillment is a big part of that. Tech assistance, though, also. So if there are problems or there are issues, learning how to use the platform effectively for those champions, any need, though, you're right,
Wow.
is fulfillment in that sense. Anything that there's a need
Wonderful.
out there. And sometimes we're discovering new needs and we're trying to and build new solutions all
I
the
know.
time. 'cause
They're always
stuff
sprinting
comes
there.
up. That's
Yeah.
right.
So it sounds like even in that capacity of your life, what you get to do now professionally, it almost sounds like being a dad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there are a lot of corollaries between being a dad and especially working with other people, working through people in order to help them achieve. And by their achievement, then there's a collective achievement. So the whole organization is kind of moving forward, advancing. I think that's right. Yeah.
So what's your background? I mean, what brought you to this place?
Well, my background. So I started out in life just going through high school, really bored with high school, and so I left high school a year early, and I went into.
But
the
no,
Navy.
when you say you left high school early, did you just drop out?
No. I graduated. So I graduated early, and where I went to high school, if you got enough credits, you could just complete, kind of like college. And so I didn't actually realize that until I was a junior in high school. And there was a mutual agreement between my principal and I. I was clearly bored, and he said it'd be great if you left. And so
quick,
that's
finish
what I
this
did.
up.
Yeah. And
So he sounds like some other dads too. You know?
that's right.
I see this ain't working for us, so
That's right. Here's the nest, and here
Yep.
you go. And that's right. It has its moment. But from there, I went to the Navy, and so I was actually enlisted in the Navy, and I worked on helicopters for a couple of years. And then after the helicopter stint, I was accepted to the Naval Academy, U.S. Naval Academy.
Wow.
And I studied there for 4 years. And then after that, I did some more studies.
So
and
where's
I
the
ended
Naval
up-
Academy located at?
That's in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
Yep. So
That's a big deal.
It's a big
Yeah,
deal. I
that's a
really
big
enjoyed it
deal.
over there. It was a great school, and so I was kind of thinking about it this morning, actually. Not really even in relation to this, but just how unlikely that was as an episode for my life. Probably not something I would have chosen if I had just been thinking about going to college, because I was more interested in history and philosophy. And at the Naval Academy, you have to study engineering. and so I could study a little history. It was actually my major, but you had to complete with a degree in general engineering. And so as a result, I learned all sorts of things about sciences that I would not really have otherwise pursued on my own. But I count it now as an extraordinary blessing.
Wow.
So I really got to learn a lot about the material world and how things work, how machines
Wow.
go. And then I served on an aircraft carrier. My last job was on the Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
So
That's
got out of the
so
Navy
cool.
in 1993, and so it's been a long time ago.
Well, thank you so much for serving, man. I really,
Yeah,
my pleasure.
man, awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for serving.
It was a blessing to me as much as
Yeah.
to anyone.
Wow, that's
Wow,
awesome.
wow.
So then you get out of the Navy, and so then did you go into more engineering? What did you do professionally?
Professionally, so I went back to school actually. So I went and I studied business at the University of Michigan. And
Wait, is
kind of-
that the Wolverines or Spartans?
That's the Wolverines.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It is what it is. So Great school. I really enjoyed it.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. Is that right? Yeah,
I don't think I knew that. I didn't see that in your application.
Is that right? Oh, well, there you go. I'm sure that would have adversely affected it. It was a great school. I like the rivalry, but both schools produce extraordinary things. But I was really privileged to spend a little time at Michigan. And so, but really, it was about that time where I became kind of aware of my own need for God and for Christ. There was a lot of success in my life, but there was also a tremendous amount of emptiness and hopelessness, and really even despair. I've been through a terrible, broken relationship, and when I came out of the military, I really felt in many ways lost. Even though I knew I could get through an academic program, I could go into business and make money, I could do all those kinds of things, I couldn't find a lot of happiness.
Wow.
And so for me, that was kind of the moment where I was open and God was available. And so, and that changed everything in my life. It really changed the trajectory. Actually, I continued to study at Michigan, but then I also started studying at a seminary for a while, and learned more about my faith and what God is hoping to do in my life. And so lived that out. I've been trying to live that out ever since.
Wonderful.
So it's been a few years
Wonderful.
now.
Well, you know what? We are having a great time listening to Tim tell us that, where he was, where he is, and and now we get to hear when we come back where he's going and really,
no. When we come back, we're going to hear about your escapades and
With the children.
adventures with 7 children at home.
Before we go, I do want to say
7?
one thing. How old is your oldest?
Oldest is 11.
11. And
7 under 11.
7 under 11. Woo! Almost 7 11.
So when we come back, we're going to hear a lot of things that are going to help you in your journey to becoming a better dad. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we have a great friend of ours, associate, colleague, a great father by the name of Tim Snoke. Woo! In the house, everybody.
So today we're talking, we heard a little bit in the first segment about kind of your professional experiences and what brought you to the place that you are right now professionally. And so now we really want to hear about your children.
Yeah.
So 2 things I want to hear about are, and whatever stories you want to share, one that just really, for you, really exemplifies the joy of being a dad. And then I want to hear a story or 2 about what are some challenges, like, what is a story that really represents a challenge of being a dad?
Can you tell us the breakdown of your kids?
Yeah.
The breakdown of the kids.
Ages,
So
ages, and all that type
So
of
we
stuff.
have, I have 2, we start with daughters. So I have a daughter who's 11, and then another who is 10, and then 2 boys. So we have a son who is 9 years old, and then a 7-year-old. And then we have a daughter again who is 5, and we have twin boys to finish things out or round things out. And they're 2.5. And so
Congratulations,
they're in the midst of
Dad.
their
Congratulations.
energy. And
So it
thank
is
you.
a busy time in the Snoke house.
It is. It's a really busy time, but it's also an
Awesome.
extraordinarily joyful time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's very good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
tell us.
give us a story. Anything.
Anything.
Gosh, there's so much, and just in the day to day. So I'll have to think. One thing I would say though is that fatherhood came a little later for me. So, that has kind of helped me, at least in my temperament, my personality. So I'm not sure that it would have been as much fun if I was a very young man. I was doing my own thing. I was kind of focused on my own deal. And I was very selfish and very concerned about myself and having fun and doing the things that were interesting to me. And so I think, some of that has come from my faith, but also just from maturing a little bit. And you begin to recognize, and I think you have some of that as well, is that your commitment to invest in your children, and recognizing where life could lead or might not lead. And so when you've made a few mistakes in your life, as I have, and you realize that you don't want that for your children, or you don't want that for anyone, really.
Right.
But you're a little bit older, and it's like all of a sudden, it's like, to pack into this package is some prevention.
Right.
So that we
That's
don't
right.
repeat those mistakes from one generation to another.
Right.
Right. And so when I see them light up on some training, we do a lot of training. And so when I see them light up on some training, then and really, they get excited about something that I never knew as a child. That's a deep satisfaction. I really enjoy that. So we're a homeschool family, and so there's lots of opportunities like that. There are moments that I don't know if I would have the same opportunities to kind of bring a perspective on just the routine, the ordinary, their math, their language skills, any of those kinds of things. And so helping them with homeschool is a real pleasure. It's interesting. Yeah. What's another question? So,
Tell us a challenge. Give us a specific story. Like one day, this happened, and I was challenged, and this is how I handled it.
Right. Okay. So twins are an entirely different deal. Right? It's like when you have the first child, and everyone says the second one's coming, and it's like, well, this is going to be a quantum difference, right? Because 1 to 2, that's a big step, and then when they go from 2 to 3. It's like you're no longer playing man to man. You're playing zone defense, right? And so it was like even up to 5. We were managing all of these transitions, and all of a sudden twins. And I can remember because I think I might have even said this to you. It's like twins, and I was like, yeah, it's 2 babies. It's not going to be a big deal. It's a big deal, right? This is a big deal. It's a very different.
Well, it changes your whole culture.
It really does. Yeah. And twins are such an insight into kind of human nature. Because you have 2 people, we have identical twins, and so you have 2 people who have the same genetics and the same DNA, and they are, entirely different. Right? And so it's like they get the same teeth on the same day, and they have all these other things that are happening simultaneously, but their personalities are so different. And I think the greatest challenge with twins is that they systematically take advantage of their twinness. Right? So they know.
Even at 2.
For sure at 2, yeah. And even
That's
before
hilarious.
2. And they would recognize the situation for what it is. It's like, mom's alone, and if I go this way and he goes that way, there's nothing.
So the story
One of us is going to get what we
so
want.
that's the story of don't chase 2 rabbits.
Right? That's right.
You're not going to catch either one.
That's right. Yeah. And so you have to pick your battles and make sure that whatever's happening, you're dealing with the most important issue.
Wow. I will say this, Tim, watching you guys evolve and grow, and your wife, Mary, just an extraordinary lady.
Yeah.
She really is.
Really
Yeah, she
extraordinary.
really is.
And to be able to run the, you talk about it, not a general manager, but more like a plant manager. Right? I mean,
more like a CEO. that has
she's
all
running
of
it all. Well, now, okay. CEO, plant manager, foreman, line operator, doing it all, and really watching the children.
Maintenance department.
Yeah, but watching them, because we said here at the Ridge Project, the families get to bring their families, right?
Right.
And watching all the kids here,
It's awesome.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna give you one of my experiences I had with your kids. We're at a restaurant, and we're all eating, and there's a big buffet, and it was all you can eat cake and ice cream and all these sweets. And next to the table was all you can eat shrimp and crab legs and stuff, right? And so I see the 2 boys, and I said, all right, guys, let's go. And I'm heading to the
Dessert
table. And
they leave him and make a beeline
for the shrimp and crab legs.
A 4-degree turn.
I mean, it's like they knew right away, you know what? This is what I want.
Yeah.
They knew that.
And they know they don't get it very often.
Right. I'm not going to see this again.
And so, I mean, that was just amazing.
Okay, so it's time to take a break.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we want to hear more about, how you intentionally pour into your kids. You've got 7 kids, and we know that you can't it's not like a group activity all the time. Like you have to you're raising individuals. So when we come back, we want to hear more about that.
So stay tuned. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this, because Tim Snoke is powerful and he has a lot to give. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina, and we
today,
have with us today, I get to say it this time.
All right.
We have with us today a very special guest, Mr. Tim Snoke, who inspires us and motivates us. And
who makes us better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line, and we are so fortunate to have Tim part of our lives. Not only we get to see him work in the miracles and stuff that he gets to do with his family and the challenges he faces but overcomes and helps his children. He helps us face the challenges we face personally in our lives and helps us not only face it and recover, right, but really overcome it and
improve and become better, right? So we know that you do that for us, and we know that you do that for your kids. And so I really want you to share, how do you make time intentionally to grow each child? Because we know, we know your kids, we've met them, they're amazing, but every single one of them is completely different.
Very different, yeah. That's a good question. And so I guess there's probably a few different ways to talk about it, but investing in a large family, for me, it means two things, really, is developing a capacity for community. So it's like you really have to begin to recognize at an early age that you're not alone in this. And so my mother was an only child. My father was from a family of 4 children. And so it's funny because the influence that they had and the way that they look and the way that they look at my family now is very different. So my dad's saying, yeah, that's normal, and my mom's even saying, are you sure that's okay? so there's some of that.
I've seen this before.
But I think probably one of the things that's most important is to have devoted time with the individuals. And so when you're in a family with 7 children, then the community part is by necessity. And so you'll have roles, you'll have responsibilities, and it's the only way that the family could function. Yeah. And so it's really important as individual parents that you spend time, that dad spends time with each one and try to get a half an hour in at least of devoted time. And the thing is, it's a time that you can dual purpose. So if you have to make a run into town, move out in the country, and so if we make a run into town, that's a half an hour actually turnaround if I stop even at the hardware store or something like that. And so taking one of the children, not all of the children, not even a bunch of the children, but just taking one, and this is our time. We get to talk, we get to relate, those kinds of things. And that's important for dad and for mom. They both have to have that time in this context because it's very easy with 7 children to think of them versus us.
Right.
Oh,
and
you need to kind of break out of that and have those moments where you're really relating on a very personal level. So something we're instituting this year is, how these discount fares come up all the time. And so you can travel someplace for $25, $50, whatever.
Oh, sure.
And so this year, one of the things that we're doing is sending Mary away. This is so hard for her.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so it's Mary and a child.
Wow.
And it's like a date weekend. So they're going to
Okay.
go someplace.
Oh, that's
and it's,
awesome.
you know, maybe 70, 80, $100 for the airfare.
Right.
And then, you know, be to get one of the Airbnb
So-
or something
Right,
like
yeah.
that.
So the discount
$30,
fare-
$50, $80 for a hotel.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
weekend. But the big thing is they go and research. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're in Tupelo, Mississippi. You're not going for the destination. You're
Right.
going for the experience together.
So let me get respectful. So you said discount fare, okay? I thought you were talking about like a fare.
No,
But you
discount
can- airfare.
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 Right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
absolutely.
You're
you-
thinking
Yeah,
FAIR,
yeah.
you're talking FARE.
Yeah. So I want to
That's right.
qualify that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So I mean,
awesome.
go
Yeah.
someplace together, and so I mean, we could do it in a car. The thing is, it's like, you know, with cell phones and everything else,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like you really have to have a break in distance
Yeah.
from
Right.
in our size of family in order to make sure that you've left everything behind. And so when Mary is in another state with one of the children, and there's a problem at home. Tim's gonna have to handle
Handle
it. Right? So you're just gonna have to deal with it
Dad
because
is
I
gonna
can't
have to
do it.
deal
And
with
so
it,
mom
yeah.
can't come in, pull the
Yeah.
rinse fat out of the fire.
Yeah,
Right.
And she needs that because that's a big part of what she does is making sure everything's running.
Yeah.
And so we give her a break with one of the
So what I hear
children.
you saying is, Dad, what Tim is saying is, Dad, you have to be up for that to where you can give, because you know you got your man cave and guys always go out on the weekends and it's like almost a normacy in the mentality of being a man. I
Right.
got to get away with my dudes and stuff like that. But we never give that privilege over to our wives. You know what?
Right.
And
And-
even help and even create that.
Right. And what I'm actually hearing too is the importance of, when we think about community and we think about Dads for You, those of you that are still locked up, is finding that community that can really relieve some of the burden off of your wife or the mother of your children.
Yeah.
Because she's out there all day, every day, and she's managing all of it. And so, you can't create that space for her where you come in and take over.
Yep.
But you can absolutely create an atmosphere for that and help her make those connections.
So when I was describing Mary as the plant manager and all that,
Right.
your wives, the lady who's taking care of your kids, the mother of your children, that's her.
Right.
Because when I was incarcerated, that was Cathy, paying the bills, making sure the kids were fed, making sure they had the right clothing on, making sure the shoes that they were wearing worked, all these type of
Yeah,
things.
it's a
Taking-
24/7
Oh, yeah,
business.
it's a big
Mom
business.
doesn't
I
get
was-
a day off. And
Right.
So,
Yeah.
in fact, that's one of the funny things though with us is that we have in the past sent Mary away for a weekend, and she would maybe cut out with a friend or something like that. And she found that she was missing the children,
Right,
kind of almost
yeah.
desperately. And so it was an unnatural thing to be away with a friend.
Right.
And the more we thought about it and prayed about it, it is kind of unnatural. And so
Right.
taking one of the children
Yes,
is a
and
much better
investing in it.
solution.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
Wow.
So when we come back, we're going to have Tim share 3 tips, 3 things that you can begin doing right now that really prepares you or actually causes you to really be investing in your kids and be that dad that is creating a legacy. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina, and we are enjoying a great show today with Tim Snoke, talking about adventures and investment in his children and in his life. And so as we close out today, what we really want to hear from you, Tim, is what are the 3 tips that you would leave with our viewers on things that they can do right now? Because, knowing that they're in prison, they don't get daily access to their kids.
Right.
What can they do right now?
So, things that you can do, things that I do. So, working with the children, in a project. If there's some kind of project that you can do, and I know it's really limited, but I'll give you an example in my own situation. It's like when we have something go to junk. So I had a lawnmower fail, and instead of just turning it into the metal scrapper, get the tools out and let your boys take it apart and then explain it. Even if you don't know what's going on in there that well, you can explain the basic ideas. The gas goes here, whatever, and let them take it apart as far as they want to take it apart. And so it's like how that conveys, I think, into an environment where, you have less direct access to those kinds of opportunities. But even talking about, those kinds of adventures, what have you done? And asking them, what have you learned about out of this circumstance? Or relating, or letting somebody else talk about something that you know about, whether it's taking apart a lawnmower, and then talking about having that conversation on the phone or someplace else.
I don't want to take. I want you to keep going because that's powerful. But I want to share, Tim. That is amazing. That is because most of us dads that are incarcerated never. In my case, my dad was home, but he wasn't active in our lives. But he was home, and most of the men that I think we grew up, they grew up fatherless, right? Well, they didn't have a dad at home, and so dads. That right there is so insightful. Man, that is powerful. Because we're quick to just throw it away, discard everything.
Right.
I love that.
Well, and take that opportunity. I mean, it's like, here's something, figure out how the world works.
Right.
And encourage your children to figure out how the world works. Because there's so much of it that if you don't take that time, even if you know how that lawnmower works, that they won't learn it if somebody doesn't teach them. Right. And so it's like, give them a chance.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing for me is to give responsibility. So now it really shows up in the family of 7. So my eldest daughters do a lot of work around the house. And in fact, they prepare 2 of the 3 meals every day. One of my daughters prepares that at this point. And so it's like, let them feel the burden of responsibility, not in an overwhelming way and not in a slavish way.
Right.
You've done the work of teaching them how to prepare the food, even if it's very basic. Mac and cheese is a big favorite, right? And it comes out of the box. It's not like... but letting them know that they're capable of accomplishing things in this world, that's really important. And so I think the other thing is empathy. Is really is like, because children, especially in a group of 7, but really all children, they encounter a situation that's hard, that's difficult, that's unfriendly, they've been rejected, whatever it is. And actually, I know that you're both very good at this, but it's like, come on, put yourself in the other person's shoes. What is it? What might be motivating this behavior that you're interpreting in a particular way? It's so much about D-tip, but it's like the D-tip, and then it's like, try to imagine why they're doing this. Because it's not unmotivated. There's some reason.
Right.
And so if you can help them through and begin to empathize with the other person, not to sympathize and not to dismiss bad behavior in other people, but to begin to realize why that might be happening, that you're in a better position to be able to deal with it appropriately.
Wow.
That's a great tip.
Wow, so you're in anger management. You're
anger prevention.
Oh,
I'm not sure we got to prevention yet, so I would love that. But
wow, that's awesome.
But this has been awesome, Tim. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank
much.
you so
My
much
pleasure.
for
Thank
joining
you so
having
much.
me.
This has been awesome.
Having Tim, not only Tim here, but he's a TYRO also, and he is a powerful TYRO, truly a man worth following. And we are so pleased to have you with us. And I hope that you've been able to take what Tim has said and jot it down and begin to figure out, how can I make this applicable in my life? Because even though you're behind the gates, you can still make a difference in your children's life. So don't think because you can't see them or can't communicate them that there ain't something you can do, because there is something you do. You were a hustler when you went in, and you're a hustler now, right? But now you want to figure out in a positive way, how do I hustle to really bring an impact in my children's life, even behind bars?
So thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your journey towards overcoming all of the obstacles before you and building a forever family. And always remember, until next time,
we are rooting for you.
I am a man of honor.
I am a man of integrity.
I am a man of faith. I am the antidote.
I am a man of discipline. I am a leader.
I am strong.
I am a man worth following.
I am a TYRO.